Do you relate well to being spiritual and not religious? Are you looking to transform your life to have greater purpose and experience more joy and abundance? If you are, you've come to the right place. Welcome. I'm Neil Pinkman, the spiritual director for the Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey. Over the past 2 decades, our open and affirming, diverse community has helped countless people in the same way. Enjoy watching. If you like what you see, check us out at cslnj.org.
Open wide my heart. 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 Open wide, oh, my heart. Open wide 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 my heart. My heart. My heart.
Well, good morning, all, and thank you, Robin.
Welcome.
It's always good to have Robin with us. And what is it, robinhackettmusic.com?
Yes, thank you for that. Go
Very
there and
good.
roam. There's great things there.
There's always good stuff from you, Robin. Always good stuff. Thank you. And um, if you know any other communities that would like to use her services, I'm sure Robin is open to it as well. So good morning. And, this morning we did Psalm Sunday, and we talked a lot about community and being together and how wonderful community is. And uh, that's why when I read, and I'll put it into the chat right now, that our opening um, our opening welcome is so important, and I don't want to rush through it. Like sometimes we slow it down a bit, and today I'm just going to slow it down. Um, we are an open and affirming science of mind community. I think that part, especially now in the way the world is right now, to make that statement alone is extremely, extremely powerful. Where the vibration of love lifts you. We know this community has been here for 23 years, and it's built on the love and kindness of each person that's contributed this in any way, just by sitting there and allowing the vibration of your own love to contribute to what we have here. The wisdom of the ages inspires you, and the science of mind teaching empowers you. And that's the beautiful part about this teaching, is Ernest Holmes took the wisdom of the ages and from so many different sources, and we're still open to doing that. but the empowerment that comes from this teaching and from this community, we've talked about how special that has been to our lives and how wonderful it is to be able to have this here for us all the time. Yeah, even if we're not meeting, just being able to reach out to each other, or the groups that we have, the men's group, the women's group, the Science of Mind Everyday Sunday morning group, the book discussion groups. There's just so much there to empower us. We do believe that heaven and hell are states of consciousness that you experience in this lifetime, and that you are the architect of your life, and that it is never too late to know true happiness. And Donald Bay, would you agree with that?
Amen, brother.
That's right. Donald Bay is the bomb diggity of that statement right there. I'll tell you that. So thank you, sir.
And it takes one to know one.
All right. Yes. Well, you be the bomb, I'll be the diggity. So I want to welcome everybody here. I do want to welcome our speaker for the day, which is Reverend Jackie LaBarre. You're going to hear from her later. She is a wonderful, compassionate, really, really talk about love and kindness. That's what Jackie is, as well as the ability to deliver some powerful messages, which we are going to hear today. I want to thank Cindy Odell for leading our Science of Mind Every Day this morning. Another wonderful session. It's open, it's free, it's 9 o'clock on Sundays. Join in. There's so much to be gotten in those experiences. We've been doing the textbook this year. We're discussing what we're going to look at next year. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether we do the essential earnest homes or whatever it is that we're gonna do there. And I want to thank Neil for doing the meditation. He was wonderful this morning. So we have. All right, this is just way too much fun we have together here. We have our practitioner of the day, which is Dawn Lee, and she will not only be doing the practitioner of the day, but we'll hear from her about a very special book discussion group coming up in about a month, something like that. So we'll hear from her later. So right now, let's go to Robin for our opening chant, and Dawn Lee will do our opening prayer as well. So thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to share with you, I just returned from Big Sky, Montana, where I was music directing for a retreat. And I had to prepare what seemed like a gazillion congregationals. And in that preparation, I started to really listen to them and to really take in what they were saying, because a lot of times as a New Thought musician, I just kind of sing them by rote. So I invite you to also to really listen in and take in the words. I send my love over the mountains. We are that love, my peace. I send my joy. We are all of that. And everything is happening from within and emanating out. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the seas. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the seas. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the seas. I send my joy
And I center myself in the power and the presence, that place that I call the here and the now. Knowing that I am one of God as God, I am so grateful. This power and I are projecting that infinite Christ consciousness of love into all life itself. My life, the lives of others, the lives of each and every family member here as a spiritual family, and my biological family is now receiving this unconditional, infinite power of love and healing. And I am so grateful. Grateful for this community, grateful for the musicians, grateful for our spiritual director, grateful for each and every person that gives unstintingly to this community in every way, shape, and form, whether it's money, talents, gifts, skills. It's so beneficial. And this community is growing in that power of love that is infinite, graceful, peaceful, life-giving, life-enhancing. This love is all there is. It is beautiful. It is powerful. It is joyous. And in that joy, I rest my case. For it is that joy, that love, that keeps and sustains the truth within me. So I grow in consciousness, in gratitude for the Christ that lives and moves and has its being in me as me. And I bless that projection into all life. I am so grateful for the friends that we are as a community coming together for this moment, just leaving our personal lives and knowing that the universe is taking care of our personal lives. By our consciousness, my consciousness, your consciousness, allowing that love that is so powerful and infinite to flow through our relationships, our biological families, our spiritual family, our bank accounts, our givingness. And so let us give all that we are, unstintingly in every way, shape, and form, to ourselves, to others. And I bless this day, this life, and all that is in it with unconditional love. I release this word into that universal law that always says yes. And I give thanks, and so it is. Namaste.
My peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love
Thank you, Robin, and thank you, Reverend Dawn Lee, for that beautiful treatment. And now it is time to read our September affirmation, which I have just put into the chat for everyone. If you want to take a minute to look at that and access that, and feel free to read it along with me. I tune into the peace at the center of my soul, knowing that the peace I wish to see starts here, within me. It starts with me. It stays with me. Peace is what I know and the essence of who I am. I live in this state of inner peace, and I radiate my peace to the rest of the world, one person at a time. I know that my community is building a global community of people who choose love and peace, one person at a time. And so it is. If you've been with this community for a long time, you recognize that last statement, that the community, we are building a global community of people who choose love, one person at a time. And I took the liberty of adding peace in there, because it is at this point where we do our peace practice. We know how needed this consciousness of peace is right now. And we know that it starts with us, as the affirmation just said. So please, as part of our peace practice, please repeat after me. I am the peace I wish to see. I know this peace for my family. My family knows this peace for my community. And my community knows this peace for the world. And so that is for sure. And now for the reading today. Our reading, I'm going to use my old, well-worn Science of Mind textbook for this today. And I'm going to go to page 139, because the talk today that Reverend Jackie's going to bring us in a little bit is waking as oneness. And in that oneness, this reading starts on page 139. It's called Activity of the One Mind. We are living in an intelligent universe which responds to our mental states. To the extent that we learn to control these mental states, we shall automatically control our environment. This is why we are studying the power of thought as we approach the subject of spiritual mind healing. This is what is meant by the practical application of this science to the problems of everyday living. The result of this mental work is what is meant by demonstration. In the great universal mind, man is a center of intelligence, and every time he thinks, he sets mind in action. Because of the oneness of mind, it cannot know anything outside of itself, and therefore cannot contradict any thought given it, but must reflect whatever is cast into it. We are immersed in an infinite creative medium, which, because of its nature, must create after the pattern of thought, the pattern our thought gives. This, in a few simple words, is the law of life. It is done unto you as you believe. No more simple and yet no more profound statement could be made. And we all know that to be truth. So, all right, we're going to go to Robin for the our song before the talk, and then we'll let you meet Reverend Jackie. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Robin. That beautiful interpretation of that song. That was fantastic. And you know, Robin is always great when we have her for our online services. But if you want a treat, make sure next time Robin is there in person. It's an incredible experience to be there sitting in front of her because she can deliver a song. That girl can sing. You know, I mean, when and it was you please, if she you see that she's coming up and going to be a musician there in person, absolutely positively, you know, be there because it's fantastic. So now we have the introduction of a good friend of mine, Reverend Jackie LaBarre. And you know, it's been great that Jackie and I go back. I think we met, like I said, back in 2013 at the first CSL convention that I ever went to. And then we've sort of been on a journey together through ministerial school. And so I will read her formal bio and introduction for you, but Jackie's somebody I've gotten to know as a friend, as a fellow practitioner, through ministerial school. But I've also got to know her just as a person, as a woman, as a mother, as a sister, and as a grandmother. And the love, the kindness, the compassion, the way that Jackie expresses in this world is just incredible. And I know she looks extremely young, but listen to all she's done. Reverend Jackie is a minister, spiritual practitioner, a life coach, and spiritual teacher who brings a personal approach to her message at the pulpit and in classes. She does a lot of teaching. Using spiritual practices like meditation, affirmative prayer, and visioning, she guides herself and others to use spiritual principles to live the life of their dreams. With a lifelong passion for helping others to see the best in themselves, Reverend Jackie empowers her clients, co-workers, and students to transform their lives by removing learned beliefs and behaviors that limit possibilities. Reverend Jackie is the assistant minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Metro, which is down in the greater Washington, D.C. area. Prior to this, she was a founding member of the Connecticut Center for Spiritual Living, where she helped bring new thought teaching to the area. You're in for a treat, folks. Sit back, relax, and allow yourselves to become inspired.
Oh, thank you, Neil. Wow, that's some big shoes to fill. Fortunately, they're my size, so
Your
I think I'll
feet
be
fit
able to handle
just
it.
fine, Jackie. Your feet will fit.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you all for having me. So there's one piece of my background that I don't put in that official bio just because I just didn't think about it, but will become somewhat pertinent to my talk today. And that is that in my previous career, for like 35 years or so, I was an engineer, and I am an engineer. You don't ever stop being an engineer. And my background is working with glass, and the latter part of my career was making lenses for optical systems, lenses that would take light and focus it and split it out into its many different wavelengths. And so that becomes important because that's the way I can look at a lot of things, is through that lens. And so I invite you right now to just take a moment and think about the last time you saw a rainbow in the sky. Whether it was a little piece of one. I know I get super excited even if I see a little sliver of a rainbow. I'm like, oh, I gotta stop everything and take a look at it. Or if it's a whole 180-degree arc. And if you're really lucky, there was one day where it was a double rainbow. And life just stopped for a moment to look at the beauty of all of the colors of white light, the visible colors of white light, spreading out into its many unique, individualized expressions of white light. And we can all do that. We could do that. I have prisms in my windows all over my house, especially the ones that are east, south, and west facing, although I don't have any south facing because I'm in a townhouse, but that's okay. I have east and west covered. So all morning I have rainbows all through my living room. And in the afternoon, I have rainbows through my kitchen and dining room. And my grandchildren love seeing these rainbows all over my wall. And I do that with a prism. I do that with a lens. And that's something that we can all keep in mind as I go through this talk. I invite you to ask yourself, am I at peace with everyone I meet? Am I at peace with everyone I meet, no matter what? Or do I see the world through a lens of otherness? Because when we put that lens in our view of the world, even in those, if generally it's not, but anytime that lens comes into place, what we see is that scattering. We see the light scatter and it becomes separate. We see all these separate entities, and it can become scary. We can feel unsafe. We could feel like we need to protect, and we can actually react out of fear and defensiveness. So I'm going to bring us back to one of our declarations of principles that Ernest Holmes gifted us. And that is, we believe in the individualization of the spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one spirit. And that takes me back to the prism. The prism that separates beautiful, life-giving. We would not have life on earth if we did not have the sun. And a prism takes that light and separates it into its many colors. And we only see a teeny tiny part of that spectrum because that's all our eyes are able to see. But there are so many wavelengths that we can't see. It is just as humanity and everything in this world that is created of that one life, everything that is, there's nothing outside of it, is all the many wavelengths on the spectrum. And when I turn into this spiritual truth of this declaration of principles that we are all individualized expressions of the one. And I even like to add the word unique, because when you look at a visual spectrum, sorry for the engineering words, when you look at a rainbow, you see the individualized colors, and they're each unique. They're each a unique wavelength. They are unique from each other. And it's not until they come back together that they create the white light that we see, the light we see that is the sun. And when we realize that, we can go very deep inside and realize that it's no matter what another may look like, act like, speak like, it doesn't matter, that there is someplace deep inside, that place where Neil took us in the meditation, the place that Reverend Don Lee took us in prayer, that place that Robin Hackett took us in song, where there is no separation, where we recognize that namaste, where we recognize that in the other, and other falls away. And so we can look into another's eyes and see through the face, see through the expression, and look deep into their eyes and see God expressing as them. And we wake up as oneness, not in oneness. We are oneness. And when we start to practice seeing that God in the other, and allow otherness to fall away. Don't fight it. Just allow it to fall away as you melt into the recognition that another is one. We live in this world of relative, where there's the world of the relative, of duality, and we can get this sense of otherness. We can get this sense of separation from each other, and it can create, doesn't need to, but it can create a sense of fear, and it can cause us to go into this protect mode, and we can start to feel anger, which can turn into being scared and being hurt or being uncertain about the other. And so at this moment in time, if you're only seeing me, you may want to switch to gallery mode. I'm going to invite you to look around the Zoom room that we're in and look at all the people, especially, everybody, even the ones who are do not have their camera on. And just look at them. Just look at the diversity. Look at the prism that has brought out all of these unique expressions of the light. And now I invite you to close your eyes if you choose to go within, into that space that all these beautiful people before me have taken us. Into that space where you can focus on our heart space. That space within where nothing has ever been there's no separation, never has been, never will be. And just feel that divine within you. And allow it to expand into that oneness of all beings. That sense of safety, because there is no other. And just feel the peace that brings, the peace that allows to express as you. And then open your eyes. And now look around the room. Look at the others that you can see, the other expressions of the divine that you can see. And just allow yourself to feel the word, feel the meaning of namaste. Feel a shift, if you've had it, into complete oneness. Seeing the other many colors of that white light. Seeing the many other unique expressions of it. And feel this sense of peace that you are. Where this is a place that we can go anytime. Anytime we feel that sense of peace being taken away from us. Sometimes it may feel like that, or going inside and hiding. And I invite you to begin a practice of what I call the peace pause. Viktor Frankl says that between the stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom and power to choose our responses. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. And sometimes that space only needs to be a nanosecond. I don't know if you're familiar with nanoseconds, but they're really short. And that's all it takes. For me, it's that one conscious deep breath. When I feel anything of otherness showing up. And in that nanosecond, in that space in between stimulus and response that Viktor Frankl talks about, we can tell ourselves a whole story. And that will drive how we react to that person if we don't take that time that he talks about. And recognizing that this is our opportunity to choose our response. It's like, walking down the street, or, if you're in a kid in high school walking through the halls at high school sees a friend and they don't say hi. They just keep their head forward and they just walk on to their next class or to the next store or whatever. And in that nanosecond, we can tell ourselves the story that, oh my God, what did I do to hurt that, or why are they being so blah, blah, blah. And then we have that choice to choose. We can choose to go that way, or we can just say, I guess they're, focused on going to class, or they've got something on their mind, or whatever. We can shift that to just blessing them. And we can just practice that pause, because one thing that I have learned through all these years since I came into this teaching, and somewhat before that, but it's really been driven home to me in this teaching, is that whatever happens is just an event or an experience. And it is that until I give it meaning. And once I give it meaning, then is when I start to respond or react to it. And so when we take this pause of peace, when we practice it, when we slow down, when we take a conscious breath, when we say a short prayer, God is, I am, all is good, I am grateful, and so it is, or whatever it is, or a quick serenity prayer, whatever it may be, just take that moment. And all the old tapes and patterns that don't support the peace and love that we want to be, is that what's driving my reaction right now? There's an experience that I had that I attempted to put some meaning on it. I have these two beautiful grandchildren, one's 5 and one's 3, that I take care of when they're not in their preschool. And one day we had lunch and we were walking down to have some ice cream, and there was an older woman sitting down on the sidewalk. I say older, she could have been younger than me for all I know. She looked older to me. And as we're walking by, she looks up at me and she goes, "Today's my birthday and nobody has said happy birthday to me." My immediate response was, I gotta grab these kids. This woman's crazy. I need to take these kids and let's go get ice cream really quick. And my 5-year-old grandson stopped, looked at this woman, and in that time I was able to take that pause myself. He looked at her, he looked up at me, and they call me Gragra. He says, "Gragra, nobody sung happy birthday to her today." And so letting go of all of the, oh my God, I'm out in the public, people are going to hear me singing happy birthday, for no apparent reason. I just let all of that go. And the 3 of us sat there and sang happy birthday to this woman. And the smile on her face, I mean, I still get tears just thinking of how happy that made that woman. And we walked on and had our ice cream. And last night when I was thinking about this story as for this talk, it's like, oh, we should have bought her some ice cream and taken it back to her. But that's now I learn from the experience. So next time we'll do that. But the question to ask ourselves is, when we have a reaction like that, is this really true? I mean, my reaction was to protect my grandchildren. I didn't know who this woman was. I'd never met her before. She's sitting on a relatively busy sidewalk in downtown Westover in Arlington, Virginia. And I'm like, and then, Carl, the 5-year-old, allowed himself to see the divine, because he doesn't know any better. He doesn't have as many old tapes. And fortunately, I'm open to that and was able to shift. And another thing to look at is there's a lot of opportunities in my world today to meet people who have some very opposite opinions about the world. And there's an author that I've read. He's a Buddhist monk. His name is Timber Hawkeye. He wrote a book called Buddhist Boot Camp. And in it, he says that the opposite of what you know is also true. And and then he goes on to say that we have to humbly accept the possibility that from that person's time, place, circumstance, and experience, they believe that whatever they believe is true also. And when we can accept that, when we can be okay with that, when we can be at peace with that, that is the key to forgiveness, patience, and understanding. So it's an we are given many opportunities to choose peace, and we can do that by just taking that moment. Just take that nanosecond. For me, it's the deep breath, because when I consciously take a deep breath, I am immediately reminded that I am breathing in the breath of God. I am breathing in life. I am recharging. For me, it's recharging, reminding myself that I am, and whoever they are both the divine in expression. And so I can look at my own beliefs, the stories that I tell people, and I can, so to speak, choose our battles. Only I like to change that up and say, we can choose our peace.
Mm.
And in the book Rising Strong, Brene Brown gives me something, and I, if you haven't read that book, I'll gift this to you, asking myself, what story am I telling myself about this situation, about this, whatever it is that's going on that's causing me to not feel at peace, to not be the peace. I can also ask myself, what's the outcome I want? And do I want to be right and potentially get into an argument, or do I want peace and harmony? And another check that I use myself, and I'm sure many of us have heard this, is asking some questions. Is it true? Is what I'm here thinking true? Is it necessary to be said? Is it kind? And the other one I ask myself is it mine to say? In this thing called You, Ernest Holmes tells us that, and so much my experience, that peace comes from a sense of union with the whole, and that confusion comes from a sense of separation. So the more I can intentionally wake up as oneness in this illusion of separation that I live in, and be that oneness. And that's why I like to say as oneness. And I like what Don Lee said in the prayer of I am not one with God. I am one of God. I am one of those many colors that get separated out into its unique and individualized wavelength, just as is everyone else. And the more I remember that, the more I can live from a place of namaste and look into beyond this face and through the soul, into the one that's there, and consciously choose what we want to do. We can take our power back. We can choose peace. And just as many of the things that have been said this morning, there's a ripple effect that goes out and touches the entirety of humanity. And so before I go into prayer, I leave you with this from Nelson Mandela. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then they become your partner.
Beautiful.
And so, thank you.
Jackie, before you take that into prayer, you reminded me when you were talking about the Namaste greeting, and if anybody noticed what Jackie did with her hands when she was talking about that, when you do a Namaste greeting, what do you do with your hands, folks? Hold your hands up, how you do that, right? Okay. You just made me think we're in the middle of doing the Joseph Campbell study and the Bill Moyers interviews, and this second week is enormously powerful, the second interview with him. But he talks about that, and everybody thinks it's just a bow and an honor.
That's
But
right.
what it literally is the divine in me with this hand sees the divine in you with this hand. And this is the oneness where we come together, when your hands come together.
Yeah.
So next time you do that, realize that it's more than just putting your hands together like in a prayer position, and the slight bow, but it really is symbolizing the oneness of coming together.
Yes. So yeah, don't just say it. Just don't be it.
Yes. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And so let's just take this into a treatment. And whenever I start a treatment, I always take a nice deep breath to bring myself back into that, being reminded that there's only one life, that there is only peace and love and joy and beauty and light. That it is a power and a presence that there is nothing outside of. That it is that which creates, animates, and sustains everything in the universe. So the thing itself can experience itself in all of its many colors and wavelengths and aspects. And so I know that each of us, I am, and everyone who hears my voice, and everyone who doesn't, we are each a unique, individualized expression of this one, of what I've heard said in this time we have together, the Christ consciousness. We are each that. It is the essence of who and what we are. It is what we are. And the who is the human expression of that. And so in this moment, in this container in which we have created this loving, kind, caring, beautiful container of love, I claim right now for each and every one of us and everyone who hears my voice now and whenever this is heard, I claim a fuller and freer expression of the peace that each of us already is. It is the what. We are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in a human form. And the what we are is that spiritual being. It is the divine. And so I accept for each of us in this moment right now and going forward from here, a clearer vision into seeing the divine in whatever may be other, in putting our hands together in recognition of that recognition within the other, of not doing it unconsciously, but doing it with purpose and intent. And this has a ripple effect to everyone, to our families, to our friends, to our spiritual families, and every person that they have any contact with. And we create this global ripple of peace and love that goes out to every corner, every space, every nook and cranny of existence. And it is with deep gratitude that I express it, for I know it is the truth. It is the truth of everyone. It is the truth of the thing itself. It is the truth of the Christ consciousness, that we are that. And so in that gratitude and deep love and joy that it brings me, I let this go into the action of the law, which is love. And it's the big yes And so I get myself out of the way and allow this yes to unfold in its beauty and peace.
Mm.
And I let this go and I let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
One heart, one life. We are one family, one earth. One heart, oh, one life. We are one family, one earth. And together we can make a difference in our world. Every creed and color, every boy and girl, all of creation, no separation. We are one heart, one heart, oh, one life. We are one family, one earth, one heart, one life. We are one family, one earth. And together we can make a difference in our world. Every creed and color, every boy and girl, all of creation, no separation. We are one heart. Even though it seems we are so far apart, many times we're feeling all alone. The truth of who we are has been here from the start. We are one heart, one life. We are one family, yeah, one earth, one heart, one life. We are one family, one earth. Together we can make a difference in our world. Every creed and color, every boy and girl, all of creation, no separation. We are one heart. We are one earth. We are one love.
All right. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling really good so far this morning. After that, Jackie, thank you. That was tremendous. Robin, thank you. Jackie, I mean, when you get a big thumbs up from our physics teacher, you know you're in good shape here. I'm telling you that we love Andy, and getting Andy's stamp of approval is a good thing. I'll tell you that. So. I don't often use this word, but just after this morning, I feel so hopeful. I feel just like, there's so much good for us to experience. And Andy, don't let that fan hit you in the head. Be careful there. We're I don't know. It's just really, really a great morning. So thank you to everyone. And right now, into that area of gratitude, where we come to the time for our conscious giving affirmation. our ability to keep building this community, to keep meeting in person, to keep having wonderful speakers like Jackie today and musicians like Robin, and to build this even bigger and share this teaching. The giving that's done here in every way is so important. And it's what built this community, and the strong, loving, kind community. People who choose love one person at a time is, it's just a beautiful place to be. It's just a wonderful place to be. So if you would, please, keep the giving happening. Let us keep expanding this, what we have here. And read along with me our conscious giving affirmation. It is in the chat for everybody. I bless this gift that I give today. I give this gift from my heart, and I give it mindfully. May my gift go further to heal, prosper, and bless this center and all who enter. I accept all good that comes as a result of this flow, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. And in the chat is also any way that you want to try and connect in order to do whatever giving you want to do in any way, including my phone number, the email addresses, whatever it is you need to reach out and say, hey, I'd like to help in any way. Your help is always, always appreciated. So thank you. And we've got so much going on right now, and it really is exciting for this community. And we're going to start next Sunday. We start with Reverend Joel kicks off our for the Four Agreements Meet Science of Mind with the domestication process. And we've touched on, Jackie touched on it today, of where we came from, what we brought with us, who we were, and who we are now. And that is, people say the Four Agreements and they know all four, but the fifth one is actually the opening of the book, which is the domestication process, which is really, really such an important part of that book. So the other thing we have going on is we've got a couple of things that have started already, which includes the Joseph Campbell and Bill's class on awareness, and both of those are still open for people that want to join in. It's not too late, and I'll tell you again, this is the Joseph Campbell one. Is I've watched now a couple of times the second interview, and I'm just blown away every time I'm reading it, listening to it. I mean, going, wow, this is our teaching. This is really, really such a powerful presentation of the core concepts and beliefs that we have. And of course, awareness is your freedom. There's no truer statement than that, being aware, and that's really important. So much of what we do in this treatment is in our principles and in the core that we have. And we have one coming up that's going to start in October, and there's still time in order to get into that. There it goes. There, I forgot to actually hit the enter button on that one. But what's coming up is that and we often talk about fear. We often talk about what is fear, and eliminating fear, and how we can deal with it. And one of our longtime ministers in this organization, Dennis Merritt Jones, has written a book about that. And we're going to start with a book study group with this in October, and it's going to be facilitated by Reverend Dawn Lee and Nettie. The two of them are going to be doing that. And you need to sign up for it now if you want to be in it, so that you get the book and you get prepared, you get that delivered. But I'd like to ask Dawn Lee just to say a few words about this class, because it is going to be a very powerful book discussion group.
Well, thank you so much. I just love our education program. I've been here for 6 going on 7 years, and I just love this community. This is the book. And he says that Dennis Merritt Jones is saying fear is a natural survival skill that cannot be eliminated from our psyche, nor should it be, because it's a part of our inner fabric. So then, How do we grow and achieve the greatness life has to offer if our inherent fears keep trying to undermine us, to slow us down and divert us? So in today's world of fear-based political platforms, global conflicts, climate crisis, and breakdowns in communications, when fear speaks, listen offers a fresh approach to understanding one's perceptions of fear and the reactions they cause. Dennis Merritt Jones, Doctor of Divinity, has been practicing and teaching New Thought principles for over 40 years. These lessons serve to help people understand how their true inner nature can thrive and prosper in the real world, where others tend to make it difficult to succeed. And in this timely new book that was released in May of 2024, When Fear Speaks, Listen, Dr. Dennis has identified the dominant 7 messengers of fear that are alive and active within us: anger, worry, judgment, selfishness, shame, loneliness, and uncertainty. These fears shape our perception of the world and cause us to make decisions that don't always help us achieve our best lives. But, big but, what if our fears actually have a message for us? When Fear Speaks, Listen will help you understand what your fears may be telling you and how to move forward and experience the joy of life. And as Judy was saying, that's when we will see the prisms, the rainbows, and as Robin sang so lovely, that's when the love flows over the mountains. So please come and join us and save the date, Monday, October 21st, 6:30 to 8:30 Eastern. This is 4 consecutive Monday nights from October 21st to November 11th. The paperback book, When Fear Speaks, Listen, can be ordered on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Divorce and Company, and DennisMerrittJones.com website. And if you go to his website, you will receive free the 4-week discussion study guide and his free poster. This curriculum was designed for all New Thought churches. And just a little bit of a correction here, there's no facilitators in this group. All participants are classified as guides. We're all guides because we all have these things we want to work through. So there are no facilitators or teachers, because I'm in this together with you. We're all in this together. And so, namaste.
Thank you very much. And again, just another wonderful part of all the things we have. Just like we have the men's group, we also have the She Speaks Women's Gathering, which is starting to meet again. And it's so helpful to be in these groups. So please, take advantage of them. And if you didn't see it on Facebook, a very shameless plug for the new book. Some of you may know my wife. This just came out. It just hit. Oh, it feels so good. They got this velvet cover on it. It's fantastic. The first week sales, as they call them, are so important. If you haven't ordered it, please do it now, because the first week is in the publishing world a really important part about when these come out. And now all of a sudden they've asked to have her forgiveness book redone in the same way, and they're just now going to publish the same St. Martin's Press, going to republish the forgiveness book as a companion to this one as well. So there's my shameless plug for my wonderful, wonderful, brilliant spouse. So thank you. This has been a great day. This is going to be an even better day as we move on from here and take all of this love, all of this wonderful inspiration with us. So Thank you all for being here. Don't run away because there's still another song, right, Robin?
Yes, there is. Be the peace you want to see. Then share your peace with everyone you meet. Let it begin. Let it begin. Let it begin with you. And be the joy you want to see. Then share your joy with everyone you meet. Let it begin. Let it begin. Let it begin with you. And be the love you want to see. Then share your love with everyone you meet. Let it begin. Let it begin. Let it begin with you. Be the peace. Be the joy. Be the love. Let it begin. Let it begin. Let it begin. Oh, with you. Let it begin. Let it begin. Let it begin with you and me.
At the Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, we believe in empowering individuals to discover their inner strength and their connection to divine life. Through our supportive community, transformative workshops, and uplifting services, we provide a safe space for personal growth and spiritual exploration. Whether you're seeking clarity, healing, or a deeper understanding of life's mysteries, our center offers practical tools and timeless wisdom to help you thrive. Join us in creating a more diverse, compassionate, and kind world. Your world, the way you want to create it.